Today we're joined by Tiffany Copeland and Maya Highland of FirstHand, which is a program at the Science Center that introduces West Philadelphia middle school and high school students to the world of STEAM. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And Maya and Tiffany are here today to cover an activity that covers science and art. So we'll be demonstrating how the pigments in our markers create the colors that we see. So Tiffany and Maya, really appreciate you guys taking the time out. And if you're ready, you can kick things off.
Hey, cool. Hi, I'm Tiffany. Like Jake said, I have a presentation to start off with. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
And I think as Tiffany's presenting, I'll watch the chat. So if you guys have questions or anything, you can just throw it in the chat and I'll moderate that.
Okay. Can we all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how to make chromatography flowers. I'm really excited. So let's go. I know chromatography sounds like an intimidating word, but I promise by the end of this, you're going to understand it. So how do scientists use chromatography to learn more about plants? So that's going to be like our guiding question, pretty much what we're going to learn by the end of this. And you guys can be excited because it's very sciencey, but it's also a lot of art involved as well. So scientists use chromatography to separate and observe pigments in leaves and flowers. So we are going to model this pretty much by using our coffee filters today. So you can see from the picture, kind of think about how colors like green, yellow, and red actually show themselves up in plants. So what is chromatography? Chromatography is a way to look at complex mixtures by separating them into their different components. So scientists use chromatography in a lot of different ways. I'm sure we can think of a lot of examples of why it's important to look at mixtures and separate them into their different components. But a big one is that they can use it to look at therapeutics, to identify antibodies and develop medications. So before we get started, are there any questions on that right there? I know we're like all shy.
No questions, but people are giving you props for your presentation. So looks really nice. Yeah.
Thanks. I went with the flower theme. All right, so what you're gonna need for this demonstration, you're gonna need your coffee filters or paper towels if you don't have those, some washable markers, some cups to actually put your water in, pipe cleaners for the stems, and if you don't have pipe cleaners, you can also grab like maybe some straws or some twigs from your backyard, front lawn or something, make it look really realistic. And then we're also gonna do like an experimental version of this, which you guys don't have to do if you don't want to, but if you have permanent markers and nail polish remover or rubbing alcohol, okay? So I'm gonna give you a second to get all your materials together if you're following along. My setup here. Alrighty. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. All right, so I wanted to first like show an example of kind of what our goal is here, so we know. So here is my chromatography bouquet. I have a bunch of different like springy colors, some with like, I did with highlighters, some with permanent markers. So this right here is our goal. I have like some loose ones here as well. And then this one I tried to make look like a tulip. So that's our goal. If yours don't come out like that, don't be discouraged. It takes practice and about a week's worth of continuously dipping coffee filters in water. All right, so if we are ready, I'm gonna get started. Can you all see me well? Good. Thanks, Jake. Okay. So start off with your coffee filters. I have small ones, I have big ones, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So first thing you want to do is like lay your coffee filter really flat like this. Okay. And grab one of your markers. Doesn't matter what color you pick. I'm gonna go with purple. Okay, and I'll throw some pink in there too, just for fun. So I have some that are already like done and finished with the design, but I figured it'd be important to kind of show you what to do. Design can be anything you want, like some random squigglies like this. I find it like kind of therapeutic to just draw on a coffee filter with marker in any kind of form and fashion that I want to. So this is how I'm feeling today. All right, so you can also kind of do it like this, like a bigger coffee filter. This one will yield you with a lot more color, but I feel like since it's springtime, we should get like some real vibrant, light colored flowers. Okay. So after you draw on your coffee filter, I'm gonna go ahead and fold it. Fold it this way. And then fold it like this. If I'm going too fast, let me know. So the point of this is to kind of get like all of the marker concentrated to the tip of the coffee filter, because you don't want to dip too much of it into the water because that's going to kind of mess up your experiment there. So before I dip it into the water, I did have another slide to show you, but this next process that we're going to observe is called capillary action. So basically it's water moving up through the small vessels in whatever medium that you're using. So a similar experiment to this would be like if you ever dip celery in food coloring and watch like the food coloring change the color of the leaves. So same thing happening there is that the color is going up through the veins and transferring to the top. So when you put your coffee filter in the water, you want to make sure that like, it sticks to the side so that it doesn't fall down into the water itself. And then the
color move.
Yeah. It happens really fast in the water for the washable markers. It happens really quickly. Oop, no, falling. It's okay. Here we go. If you're scared to get your hands wet, you can always use like the back of the marker. Like stick it in there. So that's one. I'm gonna do the other one that I did. Green and pink, which I'm excited about. Can you see it? Should I move it closer so you can see the sides happening? There we go. All right. So yeah, I try to do some reusing as well. Cut some water bottles open and use them as my cups. There we go. So if you're using like a marker, like a highlighter in water, it's going to start to move up and dissolve very quickly. But that's a good thing. All right, do you have any questions so far?
No questions, but we have Marlene doing it with you, and so is Angela and Annalise.
Yay! I'm excited. I have like 2 famous Science Center artists working on this with me, so I definitely want to see how they come out. All right, I'm gonna do, which color? Let's see. What do you think, Maya?
Do you have black? Because I think black's really cool to see how the colors actually separate. Because one of the things that while Tiffany's coloring with black you can think about is when you think about the color black, what is it made up of? Like, you know, green's made up of, green's made up of, what is it? Yellow and blue. So sometimes you can see that separate in the coffee filter, but what is the color black?
Yeah.
All colors.
Ooh, somebody said all colors. So when you see the separation happen, we should be able to see multiple colors.
I told you don't drench it.
All right, so I didn't put too much black because I don't want it to just like turn completely black when I put it into the water. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. Ooh. I feel like I see like a bluish tint coming out. I don't know if you can see like some of the blue. That's pretty cool. This is my first time doing a black one, so I'm like actually intrigued.
Yeah, I'll show you. I did a black one too, and when we're done those, I can show you mine too, because it's like crazy how many colors come out of the black and separate.
I feel like another thing that's cool is with the orange Sharpie. Once I get to like the Sharpie one, when you do the orange Sharpie, pink comes out on the end, which is like very interesting. So you want to leave the coffee filters in for at least like 5 to 10 minutes. Don't be impatient with them. Let them do their thing. And then if you want to leave it in longer than that, that's fine too. I found that like the longer you leave them in, the more the color goes out to the tip. So you basically end up with white being in the middle, which is cool. All right, so here is one that I did that was washable marker watercolor. So I left this one in for, I want to say like 15 to 20 minutes. And it was blue and red at first, and then it turned into like this bluish purplish color, which is nice. And then I also tried to like have some examples and non-examples, okay, but this is still an example because it shows kind of about solubility. So I used a dry erase marker on this and nothing happened. So I used like one of these guys, obviously blue, and I put it in the water and like nothing really took place. And I also had it in a cup with other coffee filters at the same time. So some of the color like from the other filters bled onto it. So it still came out kind of nice, and I could probably still use it, but that goes to show like dry erase markers are not soluble in water. Okay, so I'm gonna transition these to the back. Now in here I have this cup that's labeled blue. It has nail polish remover in it. So this is like an acetone nail polish remover. Same thing with this one, is nail polish remover here. I just already started a filter. So for our people who are using Sharpies, Sharpies are alcohol soluble because something like acetone, which is a stronger solvent, will actually allow the Sharpie to dissolve into it. So I'm going to show you what I did for Sharpie. This one's like already in action here. You can see some of the pink. It was an orange Sharpie and some of the pink is going onto the edge, which is really cool. Okay, I'm gonna do blue. And I found with the Sharpies that it's better just to do like something simple like this in the middle, because Sharpies are like really thick and strong, so you don't want to do too much. So as you can see, it moves a whole lot slower than the washable markers, but it's definitely like, if I had a slow-mo camera, it'd be pretty cool to see. There we go. So I find this like a really fun, interesting way to like think about what scientists do, especially those working like in therapeutics, because it's really like a physical example.
Yeah, I want to add to that, Tiffany. I think what's cool about like even the orange that you're showing right there is like different parts of the marker have different sized molecules, and so they move in different rates as it gets sucked up with the capillary action from to the top of the filter. So you can see like almost on a more like a smaller scale the sizes of different color molecules and where they kind of, some of them lag behind and some of them shoot to the top, and that's how the separation, how you can see the different colors, which is really cool. How's the black one look?
Oh yeah, the black one, let's see. So the black, there's like some green coming out of there.
Some greens, some blues.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to share theirs, even if they're still in the process? So what the differences are?
I can share mine. We use weird coffee filters. We have these kind. And we used like, I guess one marker was not water soluble, but the others were. So it made this pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one Annalise made. And we don't have any nail polish remover. So these are just water.
Oh, nice.
Which is what's cool about this is like, it's not like your experiment didn't work. You learned about the markers, but also your design's really cool, right? So like you could interchange water soluble and alcohol soluble markers to get a really cool effect.
Definitely.
Share mine too. I used Bic and Sharpie, and it didn't seem to separate. This one didn't separate too much. Down at the bottom it did. Started to bleed. And this one I thought I'd try silver with to see what silver would do.
That one's gonna probably dry really nice.
Yeah, I was doing that when Maya was mentioning black, and then this one I thought would have more orange in it, but you can definitely see the little particles in there.
Nice. So I'm gonna show you what to do, like to set them out to dry really quick. So if you can like grab some paper towel or just like a tray, and then I'm gonna pull the orange one out because I think it's how I like it. There's some yellow in there too. It's like a sun for a sunny day. All right. So go ahead and like open it. You don't have to open it all the way to let it dry, but think about like the fact that there's still some like ink running. So you want to leave it like far away from the other ones if you don't want the colors to blend. Okay, so it's like my orange sunrise flower. Yeah, I love it. Then I have blue cloudy day. This one's beautiful too. And like it smells very strong of nail polish remover right now. So probably don't put your face so close to it. And I'm taking out the black, the black water. All right, so this is what I'm just gonna leave the black one like this because I don't want any black on my sunrise flower.
Marlene's asking too, which markers did you use for these different?
Okay, well I can show you. For like the stronger looking flower, like this one, I used Sharpies. And this was just an orange Sharpie, but it came out with like all this pink in it, which I feel like is really cool. So for like the stronger colors, Sharpies.
Sharpie in the nail polish or?
This one was actually Sharpie and rubbing alcohol. Which actually I feel like from this experiment, I think that the acetone is a little more stronger of a solvent than the alcohol, which is an interesting find. So this actually took a little longer to do than the acetone. So if you want it to be more of a shade, then I would say rubbing alcohol, but it's kind of hard. It's in short supply to find some rubbing alcohol these days. So nail polish remover will do. And then for the rest of the water markers, I just use some thin, good old faithful Crayola crayon markers. And then I use these like fine point tip dry erase. And then like I knew that the dry erase wouldn't really work, so at some point I got creative and just started like making a design out of it. So yeah, that's all the markers I use. Oh, I also use highlighters too. So the highlighter one is like probably my favorite, this one. I use a pink highlighter and a yellow highlighter. So yeah, I'm gonna try to show really quick how I got to like my final flower. So I'm gonna set this to the side. So for my final flower, here's one that's like finished, dry. Next day, 2 hours later, however you wanna do it. And then my water ice looking one. So I like to layer them to get like more of a flower look, but you can also just do one at a time. So to layer them, get some tape. And then just tape it. If I can get the tape off, I'll just use blue tape. So get some tape, cut a small piece. That. And then roll it and put it in the middle of the top layer, and then stick it down and tap like that. And then at this point, it's really up to you how you want to like fold it and manipulate it. The more you bunch it up, the more it looks like a flower. To get like a tighter center, you can like roll it like this, like that. And then if you want more of like this tulip look, just roll it up like as if it's a cone. So after you kind of bunch it together like this, and you can get like a little tab at the bottom. And then you want to like make that tab sharper, like a point. So I'm using straws because I went to 3 different stores and none of them had pipe cleaners. And yeah, so I'm using straws. If you have pipe cleaners, you can just like roll them around the bottom.
I can show you too the other, because I had a pipe cleaner, so it kind of it acts as the tape. So here are my 3 layers, and then I just poked 2 holes in the center so I could pull it down like this, and then that's my stem.
Nice. For the straw, I just kind of like keep rolling on the tip a little bit to make it like really pointy. And then I stuck like that part into the top of the straw. And then you can just add like some tape to like reinforce it. Make sure it stays in there. You have your flower. So I'm gonna add this to mine, if it stays, to my bouquet. This is gonna stay on my table forever. It's falling off.
You're getting some beautiful shout outs, Tiffany.
Yay!
Yep. I have an example with the paper towel. I kind of did a lot with the marker, so it came out
wow.
crazy, but I didn't have coffee filters, and it worked pretty well on a paper towel. So this came out really nice. Thank you, Ms. Copeland.
Of course. I want a picture. Please take a picture.
Sure thing.
Yeah, this was really fun. I'm happy that I was able to get involved and do some signs at home.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tiffany. These all looked awesome. I wish we had you on last week. I could have saved a little money on Mother's Day flowers.
I know. You still give them to your mom, though.
Yeah.
I also made a little, just a little stem, fig stem to add in there too. But yeah, that's it. That's how you make your chromatography flowers.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tiffany, and thank you, Maya. Really appreciate it. Definitely gonna explore some. I didn't have markers this morning. I thought I had a couple, but I was wrong. I got rid of them. So something to do this weekend while I'm inside. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank you everyone for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you at the next session.